Hello, my name is Peter Jaffrey, and I'm showing off my most recent project. This took me a few days to put together, but I'm very happy with it. It's the first time I've coded with Go, and that was made possible by the AI agents that I was working with. So first, let me give you an overview of the application, its front end and back end, and then we'll get into a demonstration and check it out. The repository is linked in the comments below. Feel free to download it and check it out and try it for yourself. So it's a full stack Dockerized application. I needed to Dockerize it so that we could run it on the client's hosting environment, which was a Plesk server with WordPress. And WordPress is pretty cool, but there are a lot of bloaty layers that you have to deal with when working with contact forms, form calculations, and emails. It's like a messy hybrid between PHP and JavaScript, which I'm sure some people love. However, I found it quite difficult to work with in the WordPress way. So I opted for a separate application that will load in a subfolder along with the main WordPress site and a really thin WordPress plugin that simply places an iframe on the WordPress site for the form itself. It looks really good, and with the WordPress plugin and a little bit of JavaScript, I was able to make the iframe window respond to the dimensions of the application. So from a user's perspective, they don't even notice that it's in an iframe. It's not like the old days. Both the site and the application run on the same domain, so um, there are no cross-site issues to deal with the iframe. So you have full access inside and outside the window. So the front-end tech stack is the common one that we all like. I'm sure if you've done any front-end work, you know TypeScript and Tailwind. Instead of using Next, I used Vite. I think I like Vite a little bit better right now. It seems to be more intuitive, although Next.js was pretty cool. I just opted to try something new, and I'm glad that I did. If you haven't tried anything new recently, try Vite. It's nice. Um, Again, like I said before, the entire application runs in a Docker file. So I separated out two Docker containers, a front end and a back end, and then I ended up combining them at the end so that I could run them on the Plesk in a Dockerized environment. So if you want to develop it yourself, just make sure you take a look at the Docker Compose file, and you should have a pretty good understanding of how it works. I was able to get the subfolder working as an environment variable so that if you were to want to use something similar on your own WordPress website, you could change that environment variable and you'll be good to go. Okay. I also added in something which isn't really new anymore. The YouTube is just full of hype around all kinds of AI stuff. So far, I like AI. It's great. I don't like it on autopilot. I do find that if I let it run on its own without much oversight, the application gets out of control and I find myself trying to debug whatever it did or figure out whatever it did for 300% of the amount of time it would have taken me to do it myself. That being said, running it in agent mode with a little bit of control and watching it and reading its output is a game changer. It really does a good job of doing what you tell it to do. So if you're really good at providing instructions, you'd be surprised how well it is at following instructions. And I'm specifically using uh, Claude Code Max. I sometimes use Claude inside of Cursor. Usually inside of Cursor, I'm using GPT-4o, and sometimes GPT-03 for constructing my requirements documentation. And I use them collaboratively to work together towards a good solid plan and then good solid outcomes and good testing. So I put these little instructions in the documentation, as well as I put little .ai instructions throughout the code base. So how does it look? It's a very simple form, and the intent is to collect information about a client's garage building project. We are one step away from adding in an automated estimation of costs for clients, but we're holding back on that just a little bit so that we can still have a human put together the actual estimate based on all the dynamic variables that are included in putting something like that together. So you want to build a garage. How big would you like your garage to be? Okay, 20 by 20. How tall do you want your walls? Do you want the interior finished or unfinished? Do you want truss core, PVC wall and ceiling panels? Oh, yes. Do you want attic storage? Is it going to be a loft? What kind of gable do you want? Do you want me to build it for you? Are you going to build it yourself? And fill in the details. It's a nice and straightforward contact form. However, there's a lot of APIs, or not APIs, there's a lot of robustness put into the contact form. So we're running it in a Docker container. It's using Go. It's providing verbose output, debugging information. We want to make sure that the emails get through. And like everybody else, we're battling spam. So the end result is this nice formatted email that goes into the inbox, which shows the customer information, the dimensions, the features, and for those who like lean text, as well as in preparation to have AI assist with these estimate forms, we have the markdown version also emailed. And that's all there is to it. So if you have any questions or you want to collaborate on this project or you want to check it out for yourself, I encourage you to follow the link in the comments below. Thank you for your time.